Good morning, everybody. This is Tucan Dragon, and can we just quickly talk about the resurgence of Digimon? When Digimon Re-Rise came to global last year, I've been riding on that Digimon hype train. I mean, have you seen everything they've been pushing? They even released a trailer on the future of Digimon earlier this year. They basically wanted to show the world that Digimon's coming back, and with it, a huge wave of different things coming to the franchise, such as the new Digimon card game that is getting me really excited because the art looks amazing and I've been waiting so long for an actual Digimon card game. We don't talk about that one. They have also confirmed a new Digimon video game called Digimon Survive, which is basically an RPG survival game, but with Digimon. I have been extremely excited for this game. I've actually been thinking about recording some Let's Plays when the game releases, but they keep freaking delaying it, so we're gonna have to wait a while longer. And to top all that off, they have made a Digimon Adventure reboot, which I think is a good idea. Digimon Adventure released in the West in 1999 and rode on the coattails of Pokemon. However, in my opinion, it greatly surpasses Pokemon due to one reason: the story. Unlike the Pokemon anime, Digimon has not been afraid to dive into dark topics, and this holds true to the whole franchise. Minus Digimon Fusion. Maybe. I haven't really cared to watch it, to be honest. Because of that, they encourage character development for its cast, and because of it, it made me care greatly about the characters. So, can the Digimon Adventure reboot stay on par with its predecessor? Or was this just a quick cash grab? Well, let's find out. But first, wasn't someone else supposed to be here? What the
Hello everybody, I'm SpanglishComics, and before we begin, this is your spoiler warning. So if you don't want to be spoiled, this is your chance to stop the video. Go watch the episode, then come back. We will also be referring to the characters to their English names because those were the names that we grew up with. With that said, this is our review and first impressions of the new Digimon Adventure reboot.
The episode begins with a narrator explaining to the audience that it's the year 2020 in this world. And then he goes on to say the planet is connected by a network that, so happens, is inhabited by creatures called Digimon. Wait. This sounds familiar. So, it's the year 2020, and nowadays we basically need the internet to survive. So does that mean Digimon actually exists? Fuck you, Pokemon.
No!
I'm sorry.
We are then introduced to Tai packing for a camping trip. His mom calls and it looks like she is going somewhere with Kari. It's not explained where yet, but Tai wishes her luck. While this is happening, we get some hints that there is some kind of digital disaster happening all around Tokyo. So Tai's mom ends their call since she is getting on the train, because in Japan, talking on the phone while on the train is considered rude. Which I could see why. I mean, if you go somewhere public or are doing a job, some people might find it rude to be on the phone. Oh, sorry, one sec. Hello? No, I'm not busy. What's up?
Anyways, we are then introduced to Tai's neighbor, Izzy, who will also be going to the same camp that Tai is going to. After Tai and Izzy greet each other, Izzy reveals that he's been following the disasters all around the city. While talking about the disasters, Tai gets a little nervous and would probably do what a young toucan would do in that situation: call mommy. Both kids rush to the station while Tai keeps trying to call his mom, but for some reason, she won't answer her phone. They finally get to a station, and as they get there, Tai's mom finally answers her phone. So yes, we celebrate. The episode's over. Everyone's okay. Mom's okay. Carrie's okay. Everything's good. Oh. Right. I forgot about that part. So then, the train gets digitally hijacked, and the conductor kinda loses control.
Hearing this, Tai contemplates what to do. He grabs his goggles that are around his neck and puts them on. while jumping over the small station entry doors. Demonstrating real Olympic skill for a 10-year-old there, Ty. And since he is being, courageous and rushing into the station to try to help his mom, the crest of courage starts to appear on his phone.
Meanwhile, in the network, Koremon's being attacked by viruses. Being outnumbered and overpowered, Koromon cries out Ty's name for help. As Ty hears his name being called, he then vanishes, leaving nothing but his phone behind. We then see that Ty gets teleported into the network. While there, Ty finds a hurt Koromon. As Ty rushes in to try to help Koromon, Koromon then digivolves to Agumon. This digivolution causes a crest of knowledge to appear on Izzy's laptop. We then get a cute little moment with Ty meeting Agumon for the very first time, well, at least in this universe. And a small fighting sequence after that, which looks pretty cool and makes Agumon look super savage. We then see that Ty has acquired a new Digivice that looks very aesthetically pleasing. And it turns out Izzy got one too, and is communicating with him via Digivice. Wait, Izzy got one right away. Are they handing these things out like candy? Where the hell's mine? I want a freaking Digivice.
Apparently, defeating the viruses cleared up any digital distortion in the real world, so they go off to find the bulk of the virus to hopefully stop the trains. They reach a tower full of Digimon and another fight sequence breaks out. Agumon is able to dispose of all the viruses except one, which digivolves into a champion-level Digimon. Then, with the power of courage and anime on his side, Agumon digivolves into Greymon. The kicker here is that the evolution sequence is also the fighting sequence, which was really cool to see since the main baddie for the episode didn't have to patiently wait for it to be over so it could attack. The newly digivolved Greymon and the determined Tai are able to defeat the Digimon and stop the trains, saving his mother and sister. However, we then get word from Izzy that in America, a Digimon is attacking the military tactical data inference, which could result in a possible nuke going off. And with that, we get a quick glimpse of Matt and Garurumon, and the episode ends. As stated by the narrator, this episode takes place in the year 2020, with more high-tech technology, which I think was an excellent move on the creator's part. More than ever, we are now more in tune with technology and social media. The 1999 version was basically based on the old dial-up connection, so there wasn't much to do with it. But here, there are so many possibilities since the internet basically runs our day-to-day lives now. Hopefully, they don't dive into the Rule 34 side of the internet.
In the 1999 version, we spent maybe a minute or two in the real world, and then quickly dove into the Narnia-esque digital world. Versus here, in this episode, we spent actually a good portion in the real world and didn't even leave it until halfway through. And once we did, we were not taken into the digital world, well, as of yet, we were taken into the network. Unless the network is the digital world, but as of the first episode, it didn't really clarify, so we're going to assume it's not. In this version of Digimon Adventure, we're mostly introduced to Tai and Izzy, compared to the original version, we're shown to the whole cast. Well, minus Kairi. The show introduced Tai and Izzy quite well. Tai is friendly, extroverted, and headstrong, while Izzy's a smart, technologically savvy introvert. However, even though this episode introduced both characters, we got to know Tai the most. His character here feels like a direct copy and paste of his character in the original series, which is not a bad thing. If anything, I feel like he was more courageous here than he was in the first episode of the 1999 version. At least it seems that way, since this episode gave him more chances to show how courageous he can be, and why he deserved the crest of courage.
This story isn't as go-lucky and happy as the other one was right off the bat. In the original 1999 version, all the characters were pretty comedic throughout the whole series and episodes. In this one, since we are introduced to two members of the cast, it took a different approach. What was once a go-lucky intro became a race against time to save family members, which was an interesting route to take. It's not something I prefer, but it was still good.
Overall, I liked it. I mean, it's good. It's not better than the first one. I believe they're both good in their own right. The first one, at least from what I remember from back in the day, it was, I guess, more comedic and more... I don't know, it's hard to explain. It was really fast in how it progressed through the world and everything. Versus this one, I feel like it took more its time trying to establish what the world is right now and what to look forward to going more into the future with this series. I like the interaction with Ty and Izzy. It really shows that Izzy is super introverted, really to himself, and then once Ty said something that he really liked, he got really into it and started going deep into it, like showing Ty that he's been following the cyber attacks throughout the city.
Oh yeah, I thought that, well, with two characters, you get to explore in depth more about them. I feel we didn't get enough of Agumon, in my opinion. That was something that I wish we got to see more of. But compared to the first one, I guess we didn't see much of Agumon either. But I did see more Agumon and Tai interaction in the original one. Here, there was, but it was brief. Like, their encounter. Over there, they were shocked. They were, like, a little... I don't know. It took more time to get them to trust each other. Here, he digivolved all the way to his final form. In the other one, if we didn't see that till much later.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, in the first episode of the original one, to be honest, we didn't see Agumon until, like, the very last, like, minute of the first episode. Versus here, we see Agumon, like, the half point of the episode. And yes, we don't see them kind of interact and bond as much, but I think what makes up for it, at least just slightly, is that quick interaction they had when they first met. Like, Tai was just at awe, like, what is this creature? He had no words until Agumon was like, what?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that part.
I found that was pretty cute, and I really enjoyed that small interaction. It's the little things that mean a lot. Other than that, though, I like the pacing. The other one, it felt kind of fast and rushed, kind of going through everything, but it's understandable because back in the day, they didn't really know how well it was going to do. So they kind of want to rush through everything, show everything they have to show, and they have more of a cast the first episode. Here, we just have Tai and Izzy.
And Agumon.
And Agumon. So they can afford to slow down just a little bit since they're not introducing everybody just yet.
Personally, I liked the introduction of the whole cast, but this was, different. And they're trying to do, at least they're not repeating the same thing, which I can appreciate. We get to see a different point of view, which works too. But preference-wise, it's up to individuals. But this was still good. If you want to go this route, this is still good. With introducing characters slowly. And I will say this. The animation is really good in this one.
Oh my god.
Miles ahead of the 90s.
I mean, you can't really compare that. It's like comparing apples and oranges. It was a different time. So they didn't really have the technology for that. And nowadays, it looks so amazing. I mean, that scene when Agumon digivolves while he's fighting, like, that's really cool, because back in the day, we always joked that, the enemy's just waiting for the guy to transform, so they're sitting there for, like, 5 minutes waiting for a transformation sequence, but here, there's none of that. He's transforming while fighting, so it's just happening, and it looks natural, it looks good, and it was really satisfying to see.
Yeah, I hope we get to see more of that, and hopefully it seems like next episode we might get to explore Matt, and yeah, I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yep. And we haven't seen ahead. I know this is coming out like late July. We haven't seen ahead after this first episode because we want to kind of be in the dark, and we've been kind of trying to avoid at least some spoilers. So please don't spoil anything in the comments. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think everything's good, and I'll talk more next time, because right now it's still really new, so I want to see where this goes.
Well, somewhat new. It's been out it started what?
It's new to me.
It's new to you. It started April, I think, and then it was on hiatus because of the Crush card, and then it just started last month again. So I think they're on episode 7. So yeah, we've been in the dark about it. We didn't want to see anything yet, just the first episode. But yeah, guys, so now I want to know your thoughts. What do you guys think of the first episode, if you already saw it? And if not, then give it a look, because it's pretty interesting. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, then subscribe, because Rat will really appreciate it.
I would. I really would.
She would, and she'll love you for it. She'll give you all her Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
No, those are all mine.
This has been Tucan Dragon.
And Spanglish Comics.
And if I can, you can too.
Adios!